What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast presented by Major League Success. I have Angel Perez with us. She's with the Perez team at Coldwell Banker Realty. And Angel, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to just spend with us for a little bit to just share your journey of getting into the business and the success that you've had, so far.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited. This should be fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Not many people actually get to reflect on the path that it took to get to, finding, the success in the business and the journey to get into real estate. And I find that, a lot of for a lot of real estate agents, this isn't their first career choice, right? Normally it's like second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever the case may be. Not many come out of the gates and just say, "Hey, I want to be a real estate agent," right? So I'm excited to get to learn a little bit more about you and your story. And we always start here on the podcast growing up. We start from the very, very, very beginning. What was life like for you as a kid growing up?
Wow. Okay. So it had a lot to do with why I do real estate. But so growing up, I lived in government housing, like just not the greatest place. And watching my mom she was a single mom. Um, she always wanted to buy a house, and she always was like trying, and she never could figure it out, right? So that was kind of my whole thing. But I had this like weird fascination with houses, like vacant houses, and like just in general. So I would ask her to drive me downtown and go in these and show me houses. So we would drive down and look at vacant houses, and sometimes she'd let me get out, and I would literally like break in the house and go walk around these like at 8 years old, So that had a lot to do with I don't I feel like my love of real estate and house, I feel like it's in me, but that was kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. I mean, my life was good,
Are
but it's just different.
yeah, are you from Columbus then?
I am, yep, from the north side of
Okay.
Columbus, yep, been here forever.
Okay. And what, growing up, as far as, going into high school years and things like that, any hobbies, anything, as far as outside of, maybe touring vacant homes, um, did you have any hobbies or anything like that, interests that you had growing up?
Um, yeah, I was really artsy, and I was, gonna go to art school and that kind of stuff, but, actually, I got pregnant in high school, so that was my hobby, like, not getting pregnant, but having the baby, I had,
Yeah.
I had him, Christian, my oldest son now, I had him in high school, and so that was all I could do. I mean, it took up all of my time. So, skipped my senior year in high school to hurry up and get because I was like, I'm graduating. I'm not going to, not have my diploma. So, skipped senior
Right.
year. Started working in real estate right away. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay. So you decided just right out of high school that you're just jumping into the business.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we do. You go through like career planning in high school and stuff, and they're like, okay, well, you go. Mentor under two different people and figure out what you want to do. So I went to like a hair salon, and then I hated it. It was like awful. I was like, I couldn't be here talking to these people all day and doing people's hair. Like I didn't have enough. I have ADD, so I didn't have attention span to do that. And I was like, I want to be around my son. I want to do things my way. And I was like, why would you even bother? You're obsessed with houses. Like, just look into it. So I did. I started looking into it, and there was an ad actually because I took 3 weeks of summer school so that I could get my diploma early, and there was an ad at the high school that they were looking for just a secretary to help out over the summer in this real estate office. So I was like, it's like a sign from God, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
got
That
hired, and that's what I'm doing.
that's so cool. Now I want to go back because was there something growing up that really had like was it maybe the struggle for your mom to that want to find houses that really kind of intrigued you, or
Yeah.
was there someone in your family that was like an investor already, or you
No,
just kind of picked up?
no, so she was like my mom she's a hustler. She always was trying to figure out a way to make things happen. And, she had like the Tony Robbins things, but she would get so busy. She'd have like half of it there and then she'd put it down. I'd pick it up and I'd listen to the whole thing and do all of the stuff that's in it. And Zig Ziglar and, just all of the old trainers. Right. So
Yeah.
that's what I read growing up. She would be busy working, gone, and I would be at home reading these sales books at 12, you know. Um, but watching her, we would go with agents, like real estate agents, or we would look through houses, and she never could figure out like the credit or how to do it. Um, and then she would say, well, I don't want to be in this area, or I need a house that this way for my daughter. I need to be in this school district. And she would get so many no's, and the way that she was talked to a lot would frustrate me. And so I was like, I want to figure out a way to help people, like
Yeah.
help them figure that out. She actually got in contract on a property we were going to buy. It was like $13,000. It was like this piece of crap. It was like not anything, but she was like, it's in the school district. It's tiny. It's like, it's not what we want, but it'll work.
Yeah.
Ended up having an easement on it that should have been disclosed and found up front, but the agent did not do his due diligence with the title company. And well, that's what he told her. At the end of the day, he was the one who ended up buying the property, and we lost it. So those frustrations, watching her get told no and not know how to make this thing that she wanted to so bad to happen, I was like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure it out, help people. I've got, it can be done. It should not be this hard. So
Yeah. No, it's fascinating that I think you're the first one on here that straight out of high school,
yeah.
that made that decision to get into real estate. And, usually it's, I find that someone along the way had some sort of real estate ties, or something. But, it's just fascinating that you kind of knew from a very early age that this was the industry for you. So you take that, you saw that job, ad in the newspaper, and you take that. Did you do that for a couple years, or what was kind of that transition for you into becoming a real estate agent?
Yeah. So that office was an appraisal and real estate office. And so my job
Okay.
was, back before everything was automated, you took a highlighter and you checked the appraisal. I was looking for grammar errors, you know, just making sure that everything was correct. So I did that. I didn't even know what an appraisal was. I had no clue, like that the bank has to. I didn't know how to get a loan, like none of this stuff. So I would check those. I would go over blueprints because they would do, builder blueprints would come in and we'd have to look through them. So I learned so much in 1 year. Um, I realized like right then I was like, I have to do this. Like this is good for me. And I took it at like a really low pay just so that I could get in the door.
Yeah.
Um, so I could learn. I mean, so it was good. It was good. After that, I went and interviewed with a real estate agent, because you have to have a broker. And
Right.
she, honey, you look like you're 12. No one is going to buy a house from you. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, because I'm 5 feet tall, right? So I'm
Yeah.
short, and then I'm 18, like at the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not. So I was like, okay, what do I do? So I went talked to my mom. Somehow we went to some company. I think it was like the Columbus Foundation or one of these places that was going to help me get a grant to pay for my real estate schooling. And she goes, well, we can't help you with this grant because it's commission based. And I was like, okay, well, I'm discouraged. I can't do this or whatever. Mind you, I didn't grow up we had no money, like
Right.
money. There was not money for college. There was not money for schooling, anything I earned or I worked for, I earned. And then think I have a baby at the time. Right.
Right.
So, there's a guy sitting in the hallway, and I always tell my mom this was my angel because he was sitting in the hallway and he goes, Angel, because we were talking, and he said, Angel, have you ever considered appraisal? And I have been checking appraisals for a year. So I was like,
Right.
no, but he goes, they'll give you a grant to go to school for appraisal, and then you can eventually go into real estate. And I was like, light bulbs, right? Right. So that's exactly what I
That's
did. I did.
wow. That's so were you more of like a admin
Yep.
secretary so you were there for about a year?
Yep. About a year. Yep. And
And
then
and then did that gentleman in the hallway, was he an appraiser himself?
no, I don't know what he was. He was just there. And then when I came back out of the appointment, he was gone. He was just sitting there. So that's why I tell my mom, I'm like, this guy was my angel. He was supposed to be there to help me. And I've always thought like that people, there's little clues,
Yeah.
and God will line you up with the
S-
people that you need to be in touch
So
with.
yeah, so that was wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of your in, right? To being in the real estate space of so you go and you get your appraiser's license.
Yep.
What year was that?
Oh gosh. I'm not good with what years. So I was 18. So that was 24 years ago. Wait, 23 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what year that
So
was.
1999,
Yeah.
2000, somewhere in there.
It would have been, yeah, it would have been 99, the end of 99, 2000, right? Probably beginning of 2000. And I
So
had
so
to take classes. I hadn't even got my license yet.
yeah. So you end up going to school to do appraisals and doing that. Did you enjoy the appraisal side?
Loved it. I still love it. I loved it. Loved it. So I
Are you
and I
still licensed?
I'm not. So I'm not. No. Gave my license up right after '08. I think it was maybe '08, '09, something like that. But I had taken some time off with my daughter. But um, yeah, so you have to have 2,500 hours to actually be an appraiser. So you
Yeah.
have to find somebody, which is very difficult, to sponsor you as an appraiser, right? So I get in the phone book and I call because we had phone books back then, right? So I get the yellow pages out and I'm calling every appraiser. I get to the 50th one. Finally, this guy, Chris Rotef, answers the phone. I mean, most agents know him. And he goes, yeah, I'll give you a chance. When can you be here? Right. So I go there and he like gives me a chance. He hires me, teaches me how to do appraisals. I worked for him for years. Um, we're still pretty good friends. And then I ended up opening my own real estate appraisal company. So
Okay. What year did you decide to do that?
let's see, my son was 2, so that would have been 3, 4, oh 05. Mhm.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you kind of worked under him, and he was your mentor on that space for a handful of years and then
Yep, for
went
about
out on your own.
for 3 years he was my mentor, and then I worked for him with my license for a couple years. And then I just, yeah, went out on my own.
What's one of the biggest um, misconceptions or things that real estate agents don't understand regarding the appraisal process? You have an interesting view because now you're on the real estate agent side of it, and you once were, an appraiser.
Yeah, yeah. So it's helped me so much with, getting
Yeah,
done in this business. But so a lot of times as agents, we're so afraid to talk to the appraiser or be there when the appraiser's there, or, because we're afraid of, like, those laws that you're going to get in trouble. That's not true. Like, you should definitely show up at the appraisal. You should give them the comps that you listed with. Like, I tell my agents all the time, I'm like, take the comps you listed with, give them to them printed, give them a bottle of water because they're literally sitting in the car the entire day long. Appraisal, 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 appraisal. They don't have time to stop. Um, you know, don't follow them around and hound them, but give them the information that you listed with so that they, if there is a question, it's in there, it's there.
yeah.
Um, so, that's a big thing. Yeah.
You know, you bring that up, and um, I, I think there's certain aspects of our business where there's a gap, right?
Mhm.
Like real estate agents to builders and builder reps. I think there's a gap,
Yeah.
right? And one of the Facebook groups I created here in Central Ohio was the builder to realtor group, right? To
Mhm.
kind of bridge some of that communication because I felt like that distance was so great and it was so painful to track down
Mhm.
what builder rep. I kind of feel the same way, honestly, between real estate agents and appraisers. Tom Connect is a really good friend of mine,
Mhm.
and he's been licensed as an appraiser. I think since like the mid '90s.
Yeah.
Still doing it, but also he, is a real estate agent as well. And now that you say that, like, I can't tell you the last time I even went and met an appraiser out at a property. Normally it's like just let them do their thing, and if they have questions, then okay, then we'll respond with our comparables that we used. And I think there's an opportunity there for real estate agents now that you mentioned that. It's not like this. It almost feels taboo at times from a real estate agent standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You
does.
know,
Yeah, for sure.
um,
It's
so
there for sure. Yeah.
eh,
And then the other thing too, like if it's a vacant house, especially like there's no furniture, there's no one there, they might miss something. There might be something in the basement that like I've missed houses because I'm going in by myself. There might be a finished basement, but then there's a whole room off to the side. It was a recording studio or I don't know, a wine cellar or something that you missed because we went in the basement, but I didn't see it. Um,
yeah,
and then I'm back out as an appraiser. So uh,
yeah,
you should be there. You should go, and then you get to know somebody else too because appraisers buy houses. So.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Mhm.
And the one thing I was thinking about too, I mean, and I don't know what the rules or laws are around, any of that, but like, appraisers know what deals are happening too.
Oh yeah,
Like they know what's going on, BPOs, desktop appraisals, all of that stuff.
yeah,
I know you said I think you put your license back in '08, but I got it in 2011, and just the amount of BPOs that were being done for upcoming listings for banks and auctions and all those things. So it
yeah.
could be a great resource for a potential agent, with their business. So
It is.
lead me up to, like, I think you mentioned '08, you kind of stopped doing the appraisal side.
Yeah, so I had taken some time off with my daughter. So I got married and had my daughter, and so I took just like 3 years to just kind of figure out. I was going to just indefinitely stay home, um, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I loved real estate so much. I was like, I just have. I got to go back. So I was like, I'm old enough now. I don't look as young as I did, so I can get into real estate. So, forced my ex-husband to get his license. Then I got my license shortly at like 3 weeks after. Um, and here I am. Like,
That would have been like 2010, 2011.
yep, 2011, I got my license December like 29th. But so my
Okay.
license, yeah, 2012. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, we came in at the same time I got licensed. I went through the summer classes on the weekends. So
Did you?
I got my license in August of 2011. So
Nice. We're right at the same time.
yeah. Now I got to ask you though, during the appraisal period, right, of
Mhm.
you going through that and doing those, did that scratch your itch of being in real estate, or did you feel like you were still missing something?
Um, no, I'm a learner. So I just love info. So I just take things in. And appraisals are very analytical, and I wouldn't say I'm analytical, but I love just learning these different things. So I was seeing all of Ohio because literally I was going everywhere. Meeting people. I was very, very shy. So I was learning how to like approach people and talk to people and knock on a door. Like that's how I learned to door knock. I had to knock on these people's door just by myself,
Yeah.
I did a, Instagram the other day, saying that I forgot I had taken my son to an appraisal one time because I didn't have a sitter, and I took him in with me, like, so that was fun. But anyway, sorry, I yeah, it was crazy,
Hey,
but
talk about a way to break the ice with a homeowner.
yeah, I'm like, "Hi, here I am with my baby," and they're like, "That's your baby?" Because my son is huge, okay? This giant baby, but anyway, just time. But yeah, so I back to where were we at? I was going to, or I took time off with my daughter, got back in, and I did miss it. I did miss it. So,
Yeah. So 2011, you decided. all right, I need to get back into the industry.
Mhm.
And this is the time for you to go and focus on getting your license. Um, when you made that decision, right now you have kids and family and all those things.
Mhm.
And I don't know, was the appraisal side 100% commission, or were you kind of like salary, bonus structure, or was it just straight 100% commission?
It was 100% commission. It was a little bit different than they are now. So now you have to go through a third party. Back then, I went into a mortgage company, stood in front of 50 people and said, "Hey, here's Angel with Angel's appraisal. Like, can you send me deals?" Right?
So
Um,
so you really had to go and find the business then.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So that's what I would do on Mondays. I would go out and look for business, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'd be out doing and they would send it by fax. We had fax machines a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, when you got in, when you made the decision to get into switch into the real estate side, as an agent, supporters, doubters, did you have a lot of people,
Um,
doubting your decision, especially with kids and things like that?
Probably. When you have a kid so young, you automatically have people who are, you're going to fail. You're going to not succeed. I mean, I literally had a teacher tell me that you're going to ruin your entire life. And I was like, okay,
Mm,
thanks. Um, there you go, Miss Atkins. Take that.
there you go. I like the call out. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. She didn't
Carry,
talk to
hey,
me for the whole
hey,
rest of the
carry
year.
the
Yeah.
yeah, carry the chip on your shoulder. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I mean, they probably did. I probably had people that were like, "You're crazy." I am a little bit, a lot probably, but I
Yeah.
don't I don't care.
So when you got in and licensed, did you have instant success on the real estate side, or was there some struggles that first year? Because a lot of people in 2011, I mean, we're still kind of feeling it coming out of 08, 09, 2010. We're still dealing with a lot of foreclosures, a lot of short sales, bankruptcies, all of those things. Um, did building your appraisal business translate and help you that first year of the real estate side?
You mean like by having clients and things?
Yeah, just coming out of the gate with, clients, like what did you focus on to go out and build the business? I mean, some people come out and they're like, "Hey, it took me, 7 months to get my first deal." And some people it's like, "I had four in my first 2 months," so
Yeah. Um, no, so I started from scratch. I didn't have friends or contacts. I was very, very isolated, with just my kids for a long time. So no, I mean, my appraisal, the only thing that really kind of helped me with from that side was because I knew I could price a house within 2,500 of what it was going to sell for, just because I had done so many, and I could look at a house from the outside and tell you what the floor plan was.
yeah.
So, that helped. But the having clients know, it took me about 3 months to really get a deal. The first one was like $12,000. It wasn't, anything, but it was a cash deal. Um, it took a little bit of time. There was still a lot of short sales and things like you said, but, it was just every day getting up. I'm not a no person. Like, it's okay if everyone else is struggling, whatever. I don't care what you're doing. I'm gonna do this, and then I'll pull you along if I can. Like, I wanna help you if I can, but, it was like blinders. Like, you just, Today's the work. This is what you do." I started again, the phone book. I got out the phone book. I actually stole it off the neighbor's porch because we didn't have one, and, started calling investor companies out of the phone book and asking them if they had rental properties they wanted to sell. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So, I got I think 2 or 3 of those, and one just dragged me around, and I looked at probably 75 houses with him, and I'm sure he bought 8 of them. Um, Not with me though, you know?
Yeah.
But, I learned very quickly, you know, how to talk with investors and how to, what to say and what not to say and how to protect yourself, and, um, yeah, I mean, it was good. You just hustle, you
So
just go.
what made you yeah, what made you go that route as far as, being very intentional with investors? Was it just like, hey, here's the list from the phone book, or did you really have an interest on the investment side of real estate? Obviously, with the appraisal background, right? Pricing the home and understanding, after repair values and all those things definitely probably helped you for sure. But was there more? Like when I got in because of I wanted to learn the investment side of real estate.
Right.
In order for me to learn investments, I thought I had to get my license to really learn real estate in general.
Mhm.
I just happened to stick with sales,
Yeah.
and stay in this career. Um, did you have more of a passion for the investment side, or was it just here's that opportunity in front of me and I have to go and try it?
Kind of 50-50. So I had bought my first house at like shortly after I got my license. I found a house that was in foreclosure, paid $10,000 for it, renovated it, loved that. And then I did two more on the same street. So I knew it. So it was like a no brainer, like just call these people and I'm not afraid to go in houses. Obviously, I've been doing it since I was 8, vacant houses, like I'm not scared. Um, so I know how to take boards down. Like, uh,
Yeah.
so there was a little bit of that. It was like, I don't know where to get clients from. I don't know who to talk to. So I'm going to start here. And I believe that action brings action. So anything that you do towards the goal of what you're trying to do, somehow something's going to come to you. I feel like it's like the law of the
Hmm.
you have to do something. I can't sit here and just say, well, I hope someone calls me today about listing real estate or call my mom and say, hey, do you know anybody? Because she's going to be like, sure, call, your grandma. Like, okay, thanks, mom.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but I mean, I feel like as agents, we're always interested in some type of investment anyway, just because we're like, we can, I see it
Right.
for everybody. I can, but
Right. No, I love it. I mean, I love the action brings action. And that's why like I love having, you know, agents on here because there's so many different ways that people get started into this business. I mean you literally went old school of picking up a phone book and started dialing for dollars,
yeah,
For me it was internet leads. That's how I cut my teeth, and then, it was focusing really on foreclosures. We had my team leader, my mentor had a um, foreclosure list that we were selling off a portfolio. So
wow.
focused on that. Focused on attracting the buyer investors to that side of things.
Mhm.
Angel, I want to kind of lead me up through you know 2011, 2012, 2013. Kind of how did your career progress?
Mhm.
What were some of the things you were thinking about or tweaking within the business to keep growing it?
So at that time when I had first gotten in the business, Facebook was brand new. Um, and everyone was saying, don't put your business on Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't put your kids out there. Don't do this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, my mom always told me to do the opposite of what everybody tells you, because that's how you're going to do things. And then, like to your point, old school and whatever new is coming, put those two together. So I did both. So I went through and I took um, everybody that I knew from high school, I just added them as friends. Everybody that I knew from church, I added as friends.
Yeah.
I just started growing that, and I love my kids and I love sharing info about my kids and what they're doing. And I included them in my business every day. So if we were going to go put out signs, there was a picture of me putting out signs with my kids. And if I was dropping off Christmas hats to my clients, or I didn't have clients at the time, but this was later on, but they were with me. There's pictures of me in the house trying to cook rice and answer. I've got like lead sheets right here trying to
Yeah.
and so just putting a lot of that out there, talking to people, responding, doing the opposite of what everyone was doing. I mean, my personal page was my business page.
Yeah.
Obviously social media has changed so much very quickly.
I was
Um,
just gonna say it's not even close to what it was, in 2011, 2012, and that's so crazy to think about it. It's 10 years ago, but it was completely different. You're right. Like back then, it was like 70% personal, 30% business. And like
yeah.
now it's just throw it all up there.
Right, yeah, literally throw it all up there. Yeah, that helped me grow my business and just staying consistent, at it, just talking to people and following up. I mean, I would answer the phone at 2 in the morning if you called me. I can't obviously do that now because you can't keep that consistency or you'll burn yourself out.
Yeah.
If one of my really good clients called me at 2 a.m., David Vicks, if you call me at 2 a.m., I'm answering the phone because there's a reason, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, just being available for people and talking to people and I don't know. So, and then transitioning through all of that with the changes in Facebook and Instagram, it's always I'm again back to not saying no. I don't say no to much. If it goes against my core values, yes. But if it is, you know, ask me to do a TV show, great, sure, yeah, I'll be there. If you need me to do an open house, sure, I'll be there. If you want me to work for builders, sure, I'll be there. Like, what do you need me to do? Because that is my business. I'm here to help. Like, let me help you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the things that, just the with your story and the timing that you got into the business, and this is what I tell, we have a lot of newer agents on our team, and this is what I try to tell a lot of agents just in general of just always be open-minded and be willing to make a pivot in the business if you need to.
Right.
Like everyone's doom and gloom right now about
Yeah.
the economy and all of that stuff. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, and I go back to the stat all the time. And I just pulled it up the other day.
Hmm.
And I took a picture of it because I'm gonna make a post. Um, but in 2011, when you and I got into the business, there were 19,839 homes sold here in Central Ohio in our MLS. The average sales price, this is going to paint us a little bit, 156,271 dollars, and the amount of new listings that came on the market were 35,061 homes. And I tell agents, look, at the end of the day, real estate never stops.
Hmm.
You just may have to change your business and your model and your thinking and be open minded and not let your ego get in the way
Right.
of you selling homes or helping people buy or sell homes.
Yeah.
Your first deal, you said it was 11,000, 12,000, something like that.
Hmm.
Mine was 41, right? Like working with investors, that's what it took sometimes to pay the bills. Like selling the $20,000 house, that check, I always say a dollar's a dollar. It doesn't matter where it came from.
Exactly. Yeah.
And through whether it was your social media or you mentioned doing open houses or doing TV or doing anything, it's always yes, yes, yes. Like
Hmm.
I'm open to doing business.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I meet a lot of new agents, the same thing. They'll come in and they'll tell me, oh, I'm not getting in business, but they're used to easily getting leads and getting people just to call and whatever. But like there's so many things you can be doing. And as long as you're like, you know, you're not going to always do luxury stuff if you're a brand new person, and that's really hard to get into that like literally I've had this conversation 3 times this week with new agents. They're like, oh, I want to sell luxury properties. I'm like, yeah, me too. But but there's you got to get your feet wet and you got to hustle, you got to work, show up and say yes to things, help seasoned agents, go to the highest seasoned agent that ask if you can work for free for them for a little while, do their
Yeah,
open houses, run errands for them because you're going to glean things off of them that you wouldn't get just trying to figure it out on your own. You'll very quickly get to that point. Um, and learn every day, like pick up a book every day, listen to a podcast every day, because you're not going to just know everything. So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, you and I, we preach the same stuff.
Yeah.
I did a video recently where, I say freeze currency, right?
Mhm.
Like, one of the things, if you want to, I don't care what market it is. If you want to break into luxury market, if you want to break into the $750,000 and up, price range,
Yeah.
go find every single agent in that price range and treat it like you did on the phone book. Call or finding an appraiser to sponsor you.
Yeah.
Call every single agent and say, hey, you don't have time because you're busy, right? Doing, a lot of business. I have all the time in the world because I don't have any business.
Right.
What do you want me to do today? right? And free is currency because you're going to learn, like you said, you're going to pick up on what's working, what's not working.
Mhm.
And that's for anything. As a new agent, if you're struggling, go just find a top producer in your office.
Yeah.
Go join their team. Go help put signs out. Go do whatever you want. Take them to lunch.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
because free is currency.
Even I think a lot of agents that are used to producing the same thing. If you are finding a low in your business and you're not making what you used to, or you're feeling like stopped, do the same thing. Go and help another agent either at the same caliber, or because you might learn a different tactic, or an agent who's closing what you want to be closing. Go to that agent and help them. You're not beneath, I mean, it's not beneath you just because now you're driving a Mercedes where you used to drive a Hyundai or whatever. Not that either one of those is better than the other, but I mean, you're not you gotta let the ego go and help. I
Yeah.
mean, at any point, even if you are out there selling $10 million properties every single day, you should be figuring out a way that you can learn from somebody else, because you can't just
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just how I think anyway, but I don't know.
No, I know. I'm on. Hey, we think the same way. I believe in three things. One, I believe everyone should have a coach.
Mhm.
Two, I believe that everyone should have a peer that is going through the same exact, um, struggles and success as you, right? So if you're someone out doing 20 transactions a year, go find someone, whether in your office, outside of your office, that's also doing around 25 transactions, because
Right.
you guys are going through the same exact experiences, right? The highs, the lows, the frustrations, the inconsistencies, whatever. And the third thing I truly believe that I think speeds up a lot of agent success is you being able to go and coach someone else to get to where you're currently at.
Yeah.
I don't care if you sold 2 houses last year, you can coach someone that didn't sell any to how to get to 2,
Right.
right? If you sold 10, you can teach someone that did 5 to get to 10.
Yeah.
And by being able to coach other agents, to your point of, you just it helps you communicate better, and
Mhm.
by being able to explain things to, someone else in a way that they need to understand it, it also translates to your clients.
Yeah.
How you can explain this process of financing or appraisals or appraisal gap coverage, and really break it down, into simple terms.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
That's
you and I, we're thinking the same way. I wonder if it's because of the way, when we got into the market and, into real estate. But
yeah.
um, Angel, I want to kind of fast forward and look into the future a little bit.
Sure.
Um, as far as where you want to take your business to next, what is something that you're looking to accomplish within your business over the next 12 months?
Oh, I'm trying to take over the world. Yeah.
I
Legit.
love it.
Dead serious. So, no, I've always set ridiculous goals, and I believe in setting ridiculous goals because, if I even get halfway there, great. I'm gonna be a little discouraged that I didn't get there, but I mean, why not? I mean, why not? I've done a lot of things, and I've had some really difficult things that I've had to deal with on the thing, and I've beat them. So why not just try? And
Yeah.
everybody who is with me, I want the same for them too, like, for my team, even people just in my brokerage, I'm like, "Come on, what's your goal? Like, let's set it bigger, like, what can we do?" And my broker's like, "You gotta come into reality." I'm like, "Nuh-uh. Reality is whatever I say it is." You know?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. One of the first books I ever read was The 10X Rule by
yes,
Grant
I love
Cardone.
that one, yeah. Yeah,
It's, I shouldn't say it's one of the first ones, but it was one early in my career.
yeah,
But it's that same concept.
yeah,
Hey, if your goal is to do 10 houses a year, make it 100.
yep,
Because even if you sell 25, well, that was higher than the goal that you set for yourself anyways,
exactly.
originally.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
if you
Yeah.
guys are newer to the business and you haven't read that, go pick up the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I have all of his books and his wife's book, and yeah. Do you do coaching? Like, do you have a coach?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fun.
Part of my mission and my passion is helping real estate agents find success in this business,
Mhm,
because I know my experience was completely opposite of your experience, right?
mm,
Like, I came into the business in 2011, and I joined an experienced agent who was looking to build a team, who invested time, money, energy into helping me grow my business, to where I had coaching from day one.
Nice.
I had a real estate coach from day one. I had internet leads from day one. I had admin support so like, I know that's not what the majority of people experience when they get into this business. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I love having, agents on here sharing their journey and showing people that there are several different ways to find that success. And you just got to find what's great for you. And that's why I'm a big believer in, the free is currency. Go volunteer your time,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. Trust me, there are top producers out there in any brokerage that will gladly take your help with doing the $10 to $20 activities that eats up an hour of their time every single day. If you can offset that, take that off their plate,
Yeah.
they're going to invest in you and teach you, and you're going to learn a lot quicker. So
Oh
I
yeah.
have a coach. My coach is someone who's been in my professional life since day one. I still coach with them.
Oh, that's awesome. Same person.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
So, Angel, what's something that you're looking to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. I'm gonna buy my mom a house. Yeah. In the next year. So that's the goal. 5 years. I don't know. Like I legit am gonna take over Columbus. I need to have signs everywhere.
Yeah, no,
Well, I want to see how many people I can help. There's so much to do. Like 5 years is a long time.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna see you at the top because, my mission is part of my mission is that there's not one agent or one team that dominates Central Ohio as a whole when it comes to marketing and branding.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have teams and agents that um, have certain areas of
Hmm.
Columbus, but not all of Columbus.
Right.
So I hope to see you up there with me.
Let me know if I can help you along the way any day
Yeah.
for free.
Um, A- Angel, I always ask this question, and this is one that I don't think we get asked a lot,
Hmm.
but one that requires you to think big and differently.
Hmm.
What is a legacy goal for you? What is something that you want to accomplish when you're no longer here?
Okay. So the same thing that I got into the business is the same thing I want to accomplish. I want to provide two things. A way for people who don't feel that they could buy houses, that option, whether it's through training or help with down payments or um, housing. Do I need to develop a community, something like that? I haven't figured that out, but I want to
Yeah.
help people who could not buy. I feel like home ownership is for everyone. Everyone should have the opportunity to raise their kids in a home where they can have dogs. I'm a huge dog lover. You should be able to have pets. You should be able to paint your walls whatever color you want. Um, sorry, where'd my everything went away? Hold on a second. Sorry.
I'll say
Sorry.
I can still see you. So
Okay. So yeah. So, and then the second thing is I always wanted to open a house for teen mothers so that they can finish their high school diploma and go on to college and have that support and learn how to be a good parent and have the things that they need for their kids in a nice, safe environment. And I will do it. And I want to leave that for years to come. So that's the goal.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I want to be respectful of your time. And, we always end with one final question. And is if you could give our audience any piece of advice that either that you wish you had when you got into the business or one that you just give to agents, now, what is that? What is that piece of advice?
Can I cuss on here?
Sure.
Okay, so don't be a little bitch. Grant Cardone says it all the time, but it works every day for me. Um, and use it in everything. When you go to knock on a door, when you got to make that phone call, when you have to talk to a hard client, like suck it up. Don't be a bitch. You can handle it. It's not going to be as bad as you think. And I literally have to tell myself this every single day. So that's what I got. That's what I got for you.
You know, we have a lot of things in common because one of the things that I always thought about early on in my career, especially when like making the phone calls was hard, right?
Mm,
We get that call reluctancy or, reaching out to people, whatever the case may be. But Grant Cardone would always say um, something along the lines of like, he'd wake up every single day and say, "Who's got my money?"
yep.
Right.
Mhm.
And I took that and I always spun it to who's going to be my client today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'd hit the phones, hit the leads, and it'd just be who's going to be my client today? Who's going to be my client today?
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. Angel, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your journey. Yours is definitely unique in the sense that you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and right out of high school, you went and got into the industry. It wasn't maybe doing real estate as a real estate agent right away, but um, you found a way to make that happen. So thank you so much for coming on. And for those that are listening in on Audible that are on a podcast, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you? If it's someone who's looking to sell, someone who's looking to buy, invest, or an agent, maybe they resonated with your story and they just want to connect with you and pick your brain. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. You can call me at 614-843-0891, or Instagram is fantastic, for Angel Perez Realtor. Um, I'm on all the socials.
Awesome.
Those are my two favorites. So,
Awesome. Angel, thanks so much for your time today and sharing your story.
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate being asked to be here. It's so nice.
We'll connect soon.
Okay. All right. I'll see you
All right.
soon. Bye.
See ya.